Is he a tough guy? He's pretty tough. What will he do? Understand, probably. Boy, that is tough. That's one of my favorite scenes from 1975 movie, 3 Days of the Condor, directed by Sidney Pollack and starring Faye Dunaway and Robert Redford and some amazing actors, Cliff Robertson and Max von Sydow. It's a classic movie from the past, so maybe a lot of people won't remember it today, but it's a scene after this CIA analyst, played by Robert Redford, goes to lunch one day, goes out the back entrance in their sort of New York office where this team of analysts is working, him and seven other people. And he goes to get them lunch in the rain, and he sneaks out the back way. And then this CIA hit team comes in and kills everybody. And then Robert Redford's character winds up on the run, and he kidnaps Faye Dunaway. And she's this beautiful woman that he just randomly, he's in such a state of fear and panic because he's just an analyst. He's not an operative. And so he's in his panic, and he kidnaps Faye Dunaway. And of course, they wind up together by that night. She falls for him a little bit. It's Robert Redford. It's like, when he was young and everything. And the next day he takes her to the train to go see her husband or partner, whoever it is. And that's when we see this scene of, Robert Redford asking Faye Dunaway's character, is he tough? And she says, he's pretty tough. And then he says, what will he do? Implying that she's going to tell the truth to her partner. And so she says, understand, probably. And he says, boy, that is tough. We live in a culture now where people are so critical and judgmental. I've been doing videos on Stephen A. Smith and Cowherd and Mike Florio and all these freaking, sports talk radio people that are making millions of dollars a year being critical and judgmental. And I like these, I like a lot of what Stephen Smith schmears. And, sometimes to me gets a little self-righteous and arrogant and so on, but this vilifying of Aaron Rodgers' character is just over the top, calling him weak and basically calling him a liar and, like intentionally deceitful. I doubt that that's really true. And Cowherd going after, Aaron Rodgers for being 37 and single, and maybe that affects his character, as if there's something wrong with being a little bit different, a little less traditional and everything. But more importantly, the most important thing is, learning how to understand, not just judge. Again, they're making millions by being critical and judgmental. I get that, but let's like take a step back here. I mean, part of the problem we're having in the left and right in our culture here, the politic wars and culture wars and so on, is that the other side is not listening and understanding. They're not really hearing. And I think to Aaron Rodgers' defense, he probably, did that 18-minute video, whatever it was, and it wasn't a ramble. It was intelligent. The guy's a smart, intelligent, probably deeper guy than many, So, Cowan wasn't accurate there from my perspective, like criticizing, the fact that he's single at 37. Like I've said many times, it takes a while to sort of figure things out. We're all wired differently. And good for him for not, being so traditional, because, I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of coaching and psychology, probably 30, 40,000 hours by now. And I've worked with thousands of people, and, I see a big smattering. A lot of my clientele are fairly healthy, and those people, a lot of them have been living lives of quiet desperation because, they were part of the herd. Cowherd, they're part of the herd, right? They did what the wildebeests do, right? They just followed the herd. You get married at 28 or 30 and have 2 kids by 32 or 35, and then the herd starts to get divorced by 38, 40, 42, so then they get divorced. Then they're on their second marriages, and relationships are all broken and complicated, and some of them figure it out, but some of them don't. Some of them regret those sort of unconscious decisions by following the herd. So good for Aaron Rodgers for being a little bit different and taking his time and not necessarily being married at 32 like Tom Brady or whatever. And one of the things that I remind Cowan of is that, in his 20s, Cowan, that Tom Brady didn't figure it out so well. And by the way, Tom Brady is so focused and driven. And, And obviously Aaron Rodgers is ultra talented and focused and driven, but maybe he's not wired like freaking Tom Brady here. And so understanding that people are different, then that's okay. And understanding, those differences, there's just too much condemnation and judgment. I see it all the time, when I listen to either the left or right just for information. It's like they trash people's character. Do we really have to trash someone's character? You know what I mean? It's like the left, trashes Trump as if he's the devil. There's a lot of things that aren't cool about that guy. I totally get it. I don't think he's the devil. Same thing with Obama. The right trashes Obama like he's the devil. I don't think he's the devil. These are people. They do some good and some bad. There's a concept called duality, And I remember often when I coach people, I get them to watch the movie Crash, won Best Picture. I can't remember what year, but a lot of people haven't seen it that are younger. But it's a great movie that discusses the theme of duality. The good do bad, the bad do good. This, cop that sort of molests this black woman, Matt, I'm blanking on his name or whatever, the famous actor or whatever. He winds up saving her life at the end of the movie. And then, the black dudes that are robbing some rich white people, whatever, they wind up letting the, helping a van. Jupiter, it's my dog Jupiter. They wind up helping, release a van full of illegal immigrants that are in real trouble. So the metaphor is duality and understanding the complexities of life. And what I'm inviting people to do is to look under the hood a little bit here and become a little bit more understanding, not just so quick to judge and condemn. And, Aaron Rodgers didn't take the vaccine, so that puts him on the condemnation list. And if you can't understand that, then from my perspective, you're not really paying attention, because a lot of people that didn't take the vaccine are vilified, and they have their motives and they have their rights. I'm not one of those people, but I can understand and I can understand perspective here. And perspective is, I doubt it was intentional, and I really don't see him as a bad guy. And I think that this media exposure is like a little bit of a witch hunt. Hey, I'm Dr. Brett, and as always, if you like my videos, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend.